Okay, let's dive straight in. We're tackling a big one today, building a $1,000 emergency fund in just 30 days.
Right?
Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds, well, maybe impossible, especially with how things are right now.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge mountain to climb for a lot of folks. But it really is achievable.
It is, and the urgency here, it's pretty real.
It really is. I mean, think about this statistic. Nearly 60% of people in America, they couldn't cover a sudden $1,000 expense without borrowing money.
Wow, 60%. That's a tough spot to be in.
It's incredibly precarious.
Yeah, because life just happens, right? Your car breaks down, maybe you crack a tooth.
Exactly. Those things don't exactly check your bank balance before they happen.
Not at all. So the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we go from feeling overwhelmed to, like, having a plan?
A clear plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something step by step that feels doable.
That's precisely what we're exploring in this deep dive. Our mission, really, is to give you that clear, actionable roadmap. Get that $1,000 in the bank in 30 days. Make it feel less daunting, more, empowering.
Okay, love it. So let's get practical. Where do we actually start this 30-day sprint?
All right, step one. And this one requires some honesty. It's what I call spending detox.
Okay. Sounds intense.
It can be, a little bit, but it's crucial. You've got to dig into your bank statements, maybe your credit card statements too from the last month. See where every single dollar actually went.
And this is often where the surprises pop up, isn't it?
Yeah.
The uncomfortable truths about our own habits.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to just forget,
Yeah.
Those daily coffees that don't seem like much.
Right, or the subscriptions you signed up for ages ago and don't even use anymore.
Exactly. Or those little impulse buys online. You click buy now and barely remember it later. It all adds up.
It really does. It's funny how we kind of normalize these small expenses without seeing the bigger picture.
Totally. We actually heard from someone who did this, right? And they realized they were spending, get this, over $400. $437 a month just on food delivery.
$437.
Yeah, just for convenience. And seeing that number, plain as day, that can be a huge wake-up call. That's almost half the goal right there.
Absolutely. And once you see it, then you can start making different choices, informed choices.
Okay, so you've done the detox, you've faced the music. Now, step two. This one takes a bit of willpower. A 7-day spending freeze.
A freeze. Okay, now, it's important, like you said, this isn't forever, right? It's not about permanent deprivation.
No, not at all. Think of it like a reset button. A short, sharp shock to your usual spending habits.
Right. A way to kind of jumpstart the savings.
Exactly. So for 1 full week, 7 days, you hit pause on all the non-essentials. No takeout, no random online shopping, no buying clothes just because.
So just the absolute must-haves. Rent, utilities, basic groceries.
Precisely. Stick to the bare necessities for just that 1 week.
And doing that, even for just 7 days, it forces you to be really conscious, doesn't it? Like about every dollar, you really notice what's essential and what's just habit.
You really do. And the savings potential here, it's pretty significant. Lots of people find they can free up, say, $150, maybe $200 in just that 1 week alone.
That's a serious chunk of the $1,000 goal right there, achieved in just 7 days.
Exactly. Which leads us nicely into step 3.
Turning clutter into cash.
You got it. Turning that unused stuff around your house into quick cash. I love this one.
Me too. Because, let's be honest, most of us have stuff just sitting there.
Oh, yeah. They estimate the average American home has something like $3,000 worth of unused items just gathering dust.
$3,000. And the key word there is unused, right? If it's not actually doing anything for you.
It could be doing something for your emergency fund.
Precisely. Think about, like, old electronics you've upgraded from.
Totally. Or clothes you bought, tags still on, never worn.
That exercise bike that's now a very expensive coat rack.
Guilty. All that stuff is potential cash.
And selling it now is, well, it's easier than ever, really.
Absolutely. You've got Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. They make it super simple to list things locally. Just take an hour or two, snap some decent photos.
Be honest about what you haven't touched in, say, 6 months.
Good rule. Get those listings up.
And, beyond the money, which is great, there's a bit of a psychological boost too, right? Seeing that first $50 or $100, maybe even $300 hit your fund.
Oh, yeah. It feels good. It gives you real momentum. Like, okay, I can actually do this.
Exactly. So, okay, we've cut spending, we've sold some stuff. What's next? Step 4.
Step 4 is about leveraging skills you already have. We're talking side hustles.
Right. And this doesn't necessarily mean, getting a whole second job with rigid hours.
No, not at all. It's about thinking a bit more creatively. What are you good at? What do people ask you for help with?
Things you might even enjoy doing.
Could be. Like maybe you love animals, offer pet sitting or dog walking in your neighborhood. Or maybe you're handy.
House sitting. Helping someone set up their new smart TV. Organizing a chaotic garage.
Yes, those kinds of things. It's funny how we often undervalue the skills that just come easily to us.
So true. What seems simple to you might be a huge headache for someone else, and they'd gladly pay for help.
Exactly. Are you a grammar whiz? Offer proofreading. Good with computers. Help folks fix their Wi-Fi. Maybe you know your way around social media. Offer some basic help to a local small business.
You could probably pull in, maybe another $100 to $300 just over a weekend doing gigs like that?
Easily, yeah. It all adds up towards that 1,000.
Okay, so step 5 takes us somewhere different. Negotiating regular bills.
Yep. Time to put on your friendly negotiator hat. This is about calling up the companies you pay every month.
Like internet providers, insurance companies.
Exactly. Internet, insurance, maybe even your streaming services or your cell phone provider.
And the goal is just to ask for a better rate.
Pretty much. Be polite, but be persistent. Do a little homework first, see what competitors are offering new customers. Sometimes just mentioning that is enough.
They often want to keep you as a customer, so they might have some flexibility.
You'd be surprised. We heard from one listener who did this, made a few calls, and saved $137 every single month.
Wow, $137 a month. That's huge.
No.
Over $1,600 a year.
Right. Just from a few phone calls. Definitely worth trying.
Okay, that's a powerful one. What's step 6? Groceries, the budget killer for many.
It can be, for sure. But optimizing groceries is key. First step, shop your pantry.
Meaning, use what you already have before buying more.
Exactly. Go through your cupboards, your fridge, your freezer.
Yeah.
Most of us have enough stuff hiding in there to maybe skip a grocery trip entirely, or at least buy a lot less.
Good point. And when you do go to the store,
Make a list. And stick, too.
have it is.
No impulse buys in the checkout aisle.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know. Also, try buying actual ingredients instead of pre-made meals or convenience foods. Cooking from scratch takes more time, sure, but the savings can be massive.
How much you're talking?
Easily $100 or more a week for a family sometimes. It adds up fast.
Okay, makes sense. Now, step 7. This sounds old school but effective. The cash envelope system.
It really is. Super simple concept. For this 30-day sprint, figure out your budget for variable stuff, groceries, gas, maybe entertainment.
Things where the amount changes each week or month.
Right. Withdraw that amount in cash at the beginning of the period. Divide it into labeled envelopes for each category.
And when the cash in the eating out envelope is gone?
It's gone. No swiping the debit card and dealing with it later. It's a very physical, tangible limit.
That physical act of handing over cash.
Yeah.
It makes you feel the spending more, doesn't it, compared to just tapping a card?
Totally. It creates a real boundary, helps curb those impulse buys.
Interesting. Okay, step 8 moves into psychology, naming your fund.
Yeah. This might sound a bit fluffy to some, but it can actually be really motivating.
How so?
Give your emergency fund a name that means something to you, like the Freedom Fund or my Peace of Mind account or the Sleep Well Fund.
Ah, so you're kind of personifying it, making it feel more real.
Exactly. It creates more of an emotional connection. It's not just a number, it's your Freedom Fund.
So when you're tempted to buy something small, you think, wait, that's money for my Peace of Mind account.
Precisely. It reframes the choice.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And step 9 builds on that visibility idea. Visual tracking.
Yes. Our brains love seeing progress visually. It's super motivating.
So like a chart or something.
Yeah, the classic example is just drawing a big thermometer on a piece of paper. Stick it on your fridge. As you save money towards that $1,000, you color it in.
Simple, but effective.
Yeah.
You actually see the level rising.
Right. It gives you that little dopamine hit and keeps you going, especially on days when it feels hard.
It makes sense. Now, step 10 feels like maybe the hard truth part, embracing temporary discomfort.
Yeah, this is just acknowledging reality. Building this fund in 30 days, it's probably going to involve making some choices that feel a little uncomfortable right now.
It's about that trade-off, isn't it? Giving up some immediate, maybe small gratification.
For much greater long-term security and peace of mind.
Like, that $30 takeout dinner feels good for an hour.
But having $1,000 ready when your tire blows out, that feeling of relief lasts a lot longer.
Good perspective. Okay, step 11 addresses a really important point. What if your income is already stretched super thin?
Right. Because for some people, finding any extra cash feels impossible.
And if that's you, if you're really struggling to make ends meet right now, it's important to know about community resources.
Absolutely. Things like utility assistance programs, local food banks, they exist to help people bridge gaps.
And there should be absolute zero shame in looking into those options or using them. They're there for a reason to provide that safety net while you work on building things up.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, shifting back to tactics. Step 12, the cashback hustle.
Ah, yes, using those apps and websites.
Totally. It's kind of like finding free money for things you might be buying anyway.
Things like Ibotta, Fetch Rewards for groceries, Rakuten for online shopping.
Exactly. You scan receipts or shop through their portal and you get a small percentage back.
And while each bit might seem tiny,
It adds up. We heard from someone who stacked these up and got like $87 back in 1 month.
$87.
Good for
That's
the
almost 10% of the goal just from using apps. Minimal effort.
Worth doing. Okay, step 13. This one's interesting. Bank account bonuses.
Oh, yeah, those sign-up offers.
Right. Banks are often competing for new customers, and they'll offer cash bonuses, sometimes $100, $200, even $300, just for opening a new checking or savings account and setting up direct deposit.
That can be a quick injection of cash for the fund,
Yeah.
but there's usually fine print, right?
Always read the fine print. You need to know the minimum balance requirements, how long the direct deposit needs to continue, any potential monthly fees if you don't meet certain criteria.
So definitely do your research, but a quick search online for bank account bonuses could turn up some good options.
For sure. Okay, step 14, tackling energy costs at home.
Those sneaky little costs that just happen in the background.
Exactly. And often, small changes here can make a surprising difference. We're talking simple stuff.
Like what? Weather stripping around a drafty door.
Yep. Adjusting your thermostat just a couple of degrees warmer in summer, cooler in winter. Unplugging electronics that aren't being used.
The phantom load thing, where they still draw power even when off.
You got it. And switching old incandescent bulbs to LEDs, that alone makes a difference.
And these little things, collectively, they can save. What?
Often, $40 to $60 a month on your utility bills, that's potentially over $700 a year saved, long after this 30-day push is over.
Wow. Okay, good one. Step 15, exploring the gig economy more broadly.
Yeah, we mentioned side hustles earlier, but the gig economy is so much wider now than just, driving for Uber or delivering food.
Right, there are lots of other flexible options.
Think about things like paid research studies. Universities or companies often need participants and pay pretty well.
Yeah, sometimes $50 or $100 for an hour or two. Focus groups, too. Those can pay $75 to $200 for a session sometimes.
And even simpler things online, like user testing websites, pay you maybe $10 or $15 to spend 15-20 minutes clicking around their site and giving feedback.
Or online tasks like transcription, virtual assistant work. Lots of options you can often do from home, evenings, or weekends.
Exactly. Fits well into this 30-day intense effort.
Okay, step 16. A twist on the latte factor.
Yeah. Instead of telling you to completely cut out every single small joy.
Which can feel really demoralizing sometimes.
Right. Instead, think about downgrading some luxuries temporarily, just for this month.
Okay, like how?
Maybe switch your premium ad-free streaming service to the cheaper ad-supported version, or instead of restaurant delivery, grab a pre-made salad or sandwich from the grocery store deli. If you love fancy coffee, figure out how to make a decent version at home.
So finding a slightly cheaper alternative rather than total elimination.
Exactly. Those little compromises can easily save you $10, maybe even $20 a day without feeling totally deprived.
Makes sense. Step 17. Finding an accountability partner. The power of teamwork.
Totally. Doing this kind of challenge is way easier if you have someone in your corner.
Someone you can check in with, share your progress, maybe even someone doing the challenge with you.
Could be, or just a supportive friend or family member. Research actually shows you're significantly more likely to reach a goal, like up to 65% more likely if you commit to someone else.
Wow, 65%. That's huge.
Isn't it? So share your wins, talk about the hurdles. It helps keep you on track.
Good advice. Okay, 18. The 24-hour rule for purchases.
A classic anti-impulse buy strategy. Simple, but effective.
So the idea is, before you buy anything that isn't truly essential,
you wait 24 hours. Just pause. If you still genuinely want it and it fits the plan the next day, okay, maybe, but often.
that initial urge just kind of
Yeah.
fades away. You realize you didn't really need it.
Exactly. It gives your rational brain a chance to catch up with the impulse. We heard from someone who said this simple rule saved them over $400 in 1 month alone.
$400 just by pausing. That's amazing.
Right. Okay, step 19. This one involves debt, which is always tricky. Strategizing debt payments temporarily.
Okay, tread carefully here, right? Because normally the advice is pay down debt aggressively.
Exactly. But for this specific 30-day sprint, where the absolute priority is getting that $1,000 safety net built fast, you might consider
Paying just the minimums.
paying just the minimums on your lower interest debts. Things like maybe a low-interest student loan or car payment, just for this 1 month. That frees up a bit more cash flow right now to shovel into the emergency fund.
Okay, but crucial caveat here. This is not a long-term strategy, right?
Absolutely not. This is purely a temporary tactic for 30 days to hit that initial $1K goal. Once you have that cushion, the focus should definitely shift back to attacking debt, especially high-interest debt.
Got it. Build the buffer first, then attack debt with more security. Makes sense. Step 20. This one also feels a bit edgy. Strategically delaying bills.
Yeah, this is another one to handle with extreme care, not something you'd normally advise long-term.
But in the context of this intense 30-day push,
It might be an option if you know the rules inside out. We're
Right.
talking about bills that have a grace period.
like some utility bills maybe, yet you have a few days after the due date before they actually charge a late fee.
Exactly. If a due date falls awkwardly right before your payday this month, delaying by a couple of days within the grace period could potentially help you avoid an overdraft fee or putting it on a credit card.
But the absolute key is you must know the policy, right?
Right.
When does the late fee actually hit? You don't want to make things worse.
Absolutely critical. Understand the rules perfectly before even considering it.
Okay, handle with care. Got it. Step 21, the no spend weekend challenge.
Yes. This can be a really fun and effective way to boost savings quickly.
Just spend nothing for a whole weekend.
Pretty much. Friday night through Sunday night. Commit to zero spending. Plan free activities, hike, park, library, board games at home. Get creative with meals using only what you already have.
You could probably save, what, $100, $200 pretty easily over a weekend where you might normally eat out or go shopping.
Easily. And if you did that, say, 2 or 3 weekends out of the month, huge progress towards the goal.
Definitely adds up.
Okay.
22, using technology for tracking.
Right. Leveraging the tools we already have, budgeting apps like Mint or Y&E.
Or even just the spending trackers built into a lot of online banking apps now.
Exactly. They can be really good at automatically categorizing your spending and showing you visually where the money's going.
Sometimes they highlight things you weren't even aware of, right? Like, wow, I spent that much on ATM fees.
Totally. Seeing those patterns can help you pinpoint areas to cut back.
Okay, 23, the one category method. What's that?
So if trying to cut back a little bit everywhere feels overwhelming or isn't yielding big results.
Try focusing all your energy on just one major spending category for the month.
Exactly. Like decide you're going to absolutely crush your grocery spending this month. Or maybe entertainment is your budget buster focused solely on cutting that back drastically.
So intense focus on one area might be more effective for some people than spreading efforts thinly.
Could be, yeah. Worth considering if the broad approach feels difficult.
Interesting. 24, involving the family, if you have one.
Yes. If you've got kids, especially, turning this 30-day challenge into a kind of family project can be great.
Make it a game.
Yeah. Create that visual tracker together, like the thermometer. Maybe offer small, non-monetary rewards if they come up with good money-saving ideas or help stick to the grocery list.
Kids can be surprisingly frugal sometimes. And it's a great way to teach them about money, too.
Absolutely. Builds good habits early.
Okay, and finally, step 25. This is a big one. The mental health benefits.
So important and often overlooked. This isn't just about the numbers in an account.
It's about how having that buffer feels, right? The reduction in stress and anxiety.
Exactly. Knowing you have that $1,000 cushion, that you could handle a small emergency without going into debt.
Right.
That provides a huge sense of security and control.
And financial stress.
Yeah.
I mean, it affects everything, doesn't it? Your mood, your sleep, your relationships, even your physical health.
It really does. So that $1,000, it's buying you peace of mind, and that's incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive on the 30-day, $1,000 challenge, it's really important to remember what this is truly about.
Yeah, it's not just hitting that $1,000 mark, as great as that feels.
No, it's really about the process. It's about building those muscles, those positive financial habits.
Totally. A lot of people who do this kind of intense focus, even just for 30 days, find it actually changes their relationship with money long term. They just naturally keep spending less, saving more afterwards.
We've kind of rewired things a bit.
Exactly. And when you do hit that $1,000, and you can definitely celebrate it, acknowledge that win.
For sure. But then see it as the foundation, right? Not the finish line.
Yes, it's step one.
Yeah.
The next goal for real security is usually aiming for 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses saved up. That one pay is your launching pad.
So maybe take a moment now, if you're listening, and just think, what feels like the biggest thing holding you back from saving right now? What's
Right.
that one obstacle?
And once you identify it, maybe just decide to take one small step today. Start that spending detox. List one item for sale. Make one phone call to negotiate a bill. Just start.
Because this 30-day sprint, it really can be the catalyst for huge change. It's not just about the money. It's about building that long-term financial freedom.
And finding that unexpected peace of mind that comes when you know you're prepared, whatever life throws your way.